And we're back. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn the mic back on. You might notice there's little icons for the voicey bits. That's because this game has voicey bits. I don't have to say anything. The problem is it's all in Japanese. Also, when the point of this is to practice voices, sort of. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is those aren't there because I turned them off. Anyway, what could you possibly mean, Uni? What's going on? After a long, long silence, from one small hand, he extended his index finger and pointed straight at me. Huh? In a tone as if declaring a death sentence, Uni said it. You killed him. Ha ha! Ouch! Mixed metaphors. Oh, Jesus, we're outside again! All of a sudden, snow was beating against my face with amazing force. It was so much that I could barely scream. I was forced into a crouch. There was a terrible ringing in my ears. It was horribly painful. I couldn't hear very well. The other three are super excited about something? I heard a faint scream through the high-pitched ring in my ears. I looked at my surroundings, but I could only see darkness and night stretching in every direction. And then in that darkness, snow came to assault me again and again. That darkness and snow hindered my vision, and I could barely even make out a few meters in front of me. Even so, I was somehow able to perceive a faint beam of flashlight. There, I was able to confirm the outlines of Yomogi, Mayuzumi, and Uni. The three of them were covered in thick clothes protecting them from the cold, covering their ears and writhing in agony. And this very star means I hear something this way. Go back. Yeah, it was fine to walk the... Unable to hear anything due to the ringing in my ears and the roaring of the storm, I couldn't even make out what they said. I handed for the three of them. Hey, how did this happen? None of them even noticed my voice. Everyone seemed to have their hands full dealing with themselves. Why am I? No, all of us. Why are we outside? Going out for a walk in the middle of a blizzard like this was an act of suicide. That is a good point. Let me check my notes. I wrote down when the day of the avalanche is. Let's see. Day of the avalanche. Day of the avalanche is January 17th at 6:53. Crash was January 11th. If this is the 5th day, we should be well before the day of the avalanche. So yeah, we should be good. Sorry, package. Going out for a walk in the middle of a blizzard like this was an act of suicide. Yomogi should know that better than anyone. I clung to Yomogi. Yomogi-san! Yomogi finally noticed me. Because of the darkness, I was able to see the expression on his face. What's going on right now? Yomogi violently shook his head. This is the first time the weather's changed so rapidly. Emphasis on should. Yeah, exactly. The things we were saying didn't line up. No, not that! Even so, we can't give up on the helicopter. Helicopter? What do you mean by helicopter? I'm going on ahead. Yomogi shook off my hand and began walking. Wait, I'm going too, so wait up! As if using the last of her strength that already weakened, Mayuzumi began to stagger forward unsteadily, trying to follow Yomogi. Uni suddenly silently followed after them. Please wait! I tried once more to pull Yomogi back. It'd be suicide to continue like this. Let's go back! I know that it's dangerous, but if we let this go, we might not be able to go back for all eternity. It's our only chance. Chance? What was he saying? I don't know what happened, but it seemed like Yomogi had completely lost it. I couldn't let them continue on like this. It's no good. Let's go back. If we don't, everyone's going to die. If you want to go back by yourself. From the side, Mayuzumi pushed me away. I stumbled and landed on my rear in the snow. What are you doing? It's not the time for your useless petty words. That's right. Want to go back no matter what, then we're going to leave you behind. I couldn't believe it. Tired of all this DID-like symptoms? He seems a little bit tired, yeah. Even Yomogi had agreed with Mayuzumi's reckless view. Just what has happened? Yomogi turned his back on me and continued advancing in the darkness. At this rate, I'll be left behind. You're gonna follow their dumbasses, but we're gonna save first. Follow Yomogi. Obviously, they know something we don't. The fear of being left behind chilled me to the bone. Wait! Figures Yomogi and the rest were far off. Don't leave me behind! I stood up frantically and chased after them. My footing in the snow was bad, and on top of that, I had barely any strength left. Even though I had only taken a single step forward, I already felt like my knees were going to give. You're the only one who doesn't know anything about the situation, Gogoro. Exactly. I couldn't put any strength into them. My body was heavy. My vision was dim. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't stop my entire body from shivering. The feeling in my fingers and toes was already gone. The clothes I was wearing were already soaked. No matter how many layers you piled on, they were still made to be worn in the city after all. They weren't articles of clothing that could withstand the intensely cold environments. They were hardly carrying out their function of protecting us from the cold. On the contrary, my body was slowly starting to cool. My coat, wet with snow, grew heavy and limited my mobility. A limitless amount of snow blew into my exposed face, bringing a stinging pain with it. Difficult to even open my eyes properly. Even so, I continued to walk. If I stop, I'll die. Barely managing to catch up with Yomogi and the rest, I had only a moment of relief before it happened. Our only means to which to tear through the darkness, the beam of the flashlight suddenly started shaking in a disorderly manner. As soon as I had that thought, it suddenly disappeared. Uni, who was walking ahead of me, had stopped and was now standing still. As darkness deprived me of vision, I narrowly avoided running into him. What's wrong? It's Seiji! What happened to Yomogi? Making my way past Uni and advancing a little further, I saw Yomogi crouching down. Flashlight was now sticking up out of the snow. What's wrong? I picked up the flashlight and shone the beam onto Yomogi. His breathing was terribly rough. It looked like he was on the verge of suffocating death at any moment. His face was soaked with sweat and his eyes looked hollow. What's the matter? Are you okay? Yomogi answered with a raised hand. He shook his head back and forth lightly. I think he muttered something, but I was able to catch most of it. I bring her closer to him. I'm just a bit tired. Please go on without me. His words sounded extremely weak, and it looked like he was just a bit tired at all. Yomogi has been pushed past the point of exhaustion as well. But... Seeing me hesitate, Yomogi grabbed at my arm. The appearance of someone near death, he desperately begged me. If we can reach the crash site, we'll be able to manage somehow. I saw a helicopter. I saw it with my own eyes. Right now, rather than me, our top priority is to make contact with the helicopter. A helicopter? Was that why they continued to march on recklessly? There was no way a helicopter could come in this snowstorm. There's no way it could fly. It's obvious that what Yomogi saw was just hallucination. But what if there really was one? If it were true, then this was the chance we've been wishing for. If we made contact with the helicopter, everyone would be saved. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? That's why you need to go ahead. We're going to be lending him a shoulder, but I'm taking a habit of saving every one of these from now on. So, lend Yomogi a shoulder. What are you saying? I forcefully pulled Yomogi to his feet. I lent him my shoulder. There's no way. We could just leave you behind. Fuyakawa-san. Everyone's all together. We'll be rescued all together. Yomogi's body went heavy. If I continue to support him like this for a while, I might be the one to fall instead. Or is it what I can do? Very least I can do to atone. Even if I don't remember it myself, the debt that I owed for consuming our food pushed me on. I have to do it. What I'm able to do right now. We're all definitely gonna live and go back together. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Supporting Yomogi, I took a single step forward in deep snow. I wonder how far we walked. Felt like we'd been wandering inside the snowstorm for hours. In reality, only about 10 minutes had probably passed. It had become impossible to tell time. No matter how long we walked, we may never reach our goal. Think of that bred anxiety in me. I had no idea it was this difficult to stand in the front of the Russell. It stole my strength so quickly that I became sharply aware of it. Moreover, I was supporting Yomogi with my shoulder. As I was a very normal girl, I didn't have that much stamina. I was already short of breath, and even now I was tired enough that it felt like my knees would give out in any moment. Yomogi was single-mindedly, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Continuing to repeat those words. Even though my consciousness was faint, I was still able to hear those words as if they were an illusion. Only the words spoken by Yomogi, if we can reach the crash site, we'll be able to manage somehow, repeated in my mind as I absent-mindedly continued. Will I reach the crash site first, or will I fall dead from exhaustion first? My strength was already exhausted. Reminded my reign was my willpower alone. When that willpower runs out, I'll die. Continuing to mutter, walk to myself with each step I took. I turned my head and quickly glanced behind me. Maizumi and Uni, too, continued to push forward in silence. I had been worried about Uni's condition for a while now. He seemed to be staggering. Their backs hunched over and their heads hang low. They walked on knees unsteadily like zombies you see in a movie. The way they looked at me told me it wouldn't be odd for them to fall over at any moment. At that very moment I thought that, Uni's body rocked and swayed. Just like that, his strength deserted him and he collapsed in the snow. For a moment I couldn't understand what had happened. Still supporting Yomogi, I set him down and walked over to Uni. I absentmindedly stared at his small fallen body. Uni? I slowly pulled on Uni's hand. His hand was so cold it was as if it were frozen. Oh yeah! This situation sucks! No matter how much I pulled, his hand only hung there lifelessly. Are you dead? Even calling out to him was troubling to me. No, Shamir. If you were in that situation, I don't think anybody would have judged you for leaving him behind, especially when he specifically told you to. That's the harsh situation of survival. You're in something like this, it's really hard to judge someone for the actions they take. Sometimes you just gotta try and survive no matter what, and if you don't have the strength to save everybody, well, you don't have the strength to save everybody. And that's no fault of yours. It sucks being in these situations. The other me in my heart became angry at myself. What do you think you're doing just dozing off like that? Hurry and save Uni! I fell to my knees as if collapsing and lifted Uni's body softly in my arms. That alone felt to me like hard labor. Uni's eyes wouldn't open. I thought he was dead, but he was still breathing laboriously. I slapped his cheek. Uni, wake up! When he slightly opened his eyes, between pants he said, I can't walk anymore. Don't say that, you'll die, you know. It's no use. Give it up. Standing where she was, Mayuzumi took a look over at Uni. He can't be saved. Mayuzumi was wearing a blank expression. Her body was wavering back and forth, but in her eyes reflected nothing. We have no choice but to leave him. Wait, or be fat enough to stop the trolley. I've never heard that saying. That's an interesting saying. We feed the man so he may one day be fat enough to stop the trolley. What was she saying? Leave who behind? Uni? Don't say such ridiculous things. We don't have any other options, right? Do we all die? Or do we just leave the child to die? Mayuzumi curved her lips in self-derision. Did you joke about trolley problem memes? I don't know it. Never heard it before. Either way, that child can't be saved. I looked at Uni's face. In order to save myself, I had to abandon this child. Is that really alright? But I'm afraid to die. I don't want to die. Even if I have to survive, leave others to die, I'm definitely going to survive. How about you? In order to save the majority, you have to sacrifice the minority. Might be an act of courage in itself, but we're saving Uni, fuck that. I'm sorry, but no. There was no way I could do something as cruel as abandoning someone. I'm going back to the cabin together with Uni. I embraced Uni tightly. Again with that naive optimism. Even so, even if you say that it's just pretty words, I can't sacrifice such a young child just to survive. I wouldn't be able to bear that. I almost lost someone important to me as a person. I only end up hating myself unbearably. And at that moment, inside the crashing airplane, I swore to myself that I'd protect Uni. I swore it. Right now, no matter what happens, I'm going to save Uni. What are you saying? Mayuzumi caught hold of me and shook me violently by the chest. It's our chance to live and return home. If we let this go, there won't be any more chances. Did you just say return to the cabin? You want to die? But there's no way in hell I'll do that. Thrusting me away, Mayuzumi began to walk alone in the darkness. Wait, Mayuzumi-san, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this, at least! No? Bad time for a joke? However, Mayuzumi didn't turn around. Falling several times as she went, she continued treading through the snow. This is bad, letting her go alone would be too dangerous. But I looked down at Uni. If I left Uni here, his life would be in danger instead. I hesitated. Should I abandon Mayuzumi? Maybe she won't die. Maybe she'll be able to find the helicopter. Maybe... I shook my head. It was all wishful thinking. Those assumptions were totally meaningless. I was only making excuses in my head so I wouldn't blame myself if she died. Fuyukawa-san. Still down on his knees, Mogi shuffled toward us. Still crouching down, he drew Uni close enough to cover him up. I'll look after him. Eh? Go after her, please. Bring Mayuzumi back. There's only one thing the only one who can do that right now is you. But... no matter how you look at it, Yomogi and Uni didn't seem alright at all. I'd feel uneasy if I left them here. If I had to choose between either Mayuzumi or Uni and Yomogi, I'd choose the latter without a second thought. And so Yomogi was signaling me to go save Mayuzumi instead. Why? Yomogi looked straight up at me. His eyes were full of a strong will to live. Mayuzumi, she isn't a very likable person. That doesn't mean that we can just leave her to die. As long as we're alive, we have the duty to live. The duty to help each other to live as well. We absolutely don't have the right to decide it's okay for someone else to die. Duty to live. A duty to live and duty to help each other to live. So please go. Don't let Mayuzumi die. I grabbed hold of his clenched fist. I understand. It's just as Yomogi said. I won't just let someone die. Everyone's going to survive and return together. I'll definitely be back. I'll bring Mayuzumi back with me. So please wait for me. Yomogi faintly smiled while giving me a thumbs up. The things I can do. The things only I can do. I'll do them now. Began running through the snow. Isn't a very likable person. Understatement of the year. Like I said, I understand where she's coming from. My dim senses flew further and further away as I ran. My knees had already begun aching. If I stopped even for a moment, I'd probably collapse and never be able to get back up again. Even so, I continued running, feeling the need to redeem myself along with the strong will to rescue them, thinking everyone will live and return together. I caught up with Mayuzumi right away. Her steps were faltering. Haven't you heard of the trolley problem? No. I've never heard of the trolley problem. No idea what it is. She wasn't even able to walk straight anymore. Mayuzumi-san. I reached out to grab Mayuzumi's shoulder from behind. Seeing her face after I forcibly turned her around, I gulped. She was crying. I want to go home. I want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. She clung to me and begged me in a voice close to a scream. Hey, have we all done something wrong? We haven't, have we? Why do we have to go through these horrible things? This is just too much. Mayuzumi-san. I couldn't find the right words to say. Then I realized it. Mayuzumi was fighting against her fear and anxiety as well. Right, what Alou says. Don't have to like or respect her, you just gotta save her. However, she was unable to endure it any longer and had been pushed to the edge. She was also a normal woman. She too was someone who had gone to work every day, grumbled about her superiors, dressed up on her days off, went on dates with the person she loved, smiled and laughed while having fun. Being thrown in this unfair environment, I understand her feelings of sorrow quite well. I felt the same way she did. Gotta go. Mayuzumi began to walk again as if possessed. A helicopter is waiting to rescue me. That's why I've gotta go. No, you can't go. I grabbed onto Mayuzumi from behind. Let me go. Let me go. Mayuzumi struggled to pull herself away from me. However, her strength was so weak that it was pitiful. Oh, there won't be anyone waiting there even if we do go. Mayuzumi stretched out her hand as if trying to grab something she couldn't reach. But the helicopter! There's a helicopter! It's waiting for me. No, there isn't! In this snowstorm, there's no way a helicopter could land. That's why we should go back. Please, I'm begging you, I don't want to let you die. All the strength suddenly left Mayuzumi's body. Through the arms that I held her with, I could feel her trembling. Why did something like this have to happen? Why? It's gonna be alright. If we don't lose hope, we'll definitely be rescued. Everyone will return together. That's why we have to go back now. My words were completely without base. Even so, if we were able to save Mayuzumi give Mayuzumi some encouragement at the very least, then it was fine. Pulling out the hand of sobbing Mayuzumi, I walked back in the direction where I had left Uni. Trolley is hurling down the track. It will kill 5 people unless diverted. There's a level next that will divert it instead of killing 1 person due to pull the lever. I have heard that, actually. I have heard the trolley problem. And it's a false dichotomy. It only gives you one option. to pull or not pull that lever. There are other options. There are always other options. That doesn't mean you always find the right option at the right time. It doesn't mean you'll always manage to get there to do it in time. Doesn't always mean... sorry, yawning. Doesn't always mean you'll make the right decision when it needs to be, and doesn't always mean there is a right decision. But there's never only two options. And my sense of direction was completely thrown off by the snowstorm. I was worried about whether I'd be able to return to where Uni was, but I promised that I'd definitely return. Believing that, I pulled Mayuzumi by the hand while pushing my way through the snow. Hey, look over there! From behind me, Mayuzumi pulled us off in the darkness. There I saw a faint light. It was a beam of a flashlight. We rushed towards the source of the light. Yomogi-san! The beam of the flashlight wavered as I called to him. This way! Yomogi had dug a shallow hole in the snow similar to bivouac. He was lying down in the hole as the snow and wind passed over him, and he curled up against his chest. How's Uni? He's still okay, or he's in bad shape. Let's go back to the cabin. Yomogi gave me a small nod. Mayuzumi and I helped Yomogi as we began to crawl at the hole. Yomogi looked like he wanted to say something to the oddly obedient Mayuzumi, but in the end he just gave me a small wink instead. End of self-sacrifice. Doesn't look as though Uni would be able to walk by himself. He was still conscious, but his body had gone completely limp. Alternative form, you're on a bridge with the fat man. Do you push him so his body stops the trolley, and so you feed the man joke? There's a whole page of trolley problem joke variations. He was still conscious, but his body had gone completely limp. This isn't good. Seeing Uni like that, Yomogi groaned. Hypothermia is setting in. We'd better hurry. Saying that, he lifted Uni's body in his arms and began to carry him over his shoulder. I carry Uni instead, because I'm the one with the actual strength! Yomogi-san, I'll carry him instead. I saw a look of astonishment spread over Yomogi's face. No, that's impossible for you. It isn't really possible for you. It isn't really possible for you either, Yomogi-san. Besides, I ate a lot, so I'm still okay. Please let me carry him. It's the least I can do. Besides, Yomogi had the duty of leading us back to the cabin. Yomogi was still slightly hesitant, but he gave a small shrug of his shoulders in the end. I understand, but tell me if it gets too hard for you part way. I'll change with you any time. Okay. I took Uni from Yomogi and began to carry him. Even though he was a small child, he was rather heavy. However, my footing was bad. Wondering if my strength would hold out, I suddenly became uneasy. But even then, I have to continue carrying him. I wanted to do something for Uni, something to save Uni. I wanted to protect Uni. I could feel Uni shivering and his low temperature through my back. Well, let's go. Following after Yomogi began to walk. Don't die, Uni. Feeling Uni's weight on me, I pray. Honestly, I don't know when decision to return to the cabin was the right one. It may have been better for us to just keep going. There might have been a helicopter waiting at the crash site, and the four of us might have really been rescued. We had chosen to return to the cabin with only the thought of not wanting to put Uni through any more suffering in our minds. But that choice was wrong. We would all suffer, not only Uni, but Yomogi and Mayuzumi as well. Doubt began to overflow into my mind. In this harsh environment, a single mistake of judgment could turn out to be fatal. What was right and what was wrong? Was the decision I made the right one? Walking in a blizzard in the dark of night, we didn't know where we were headed, but Yomogi's footsteps steadily continued. He continued walking straight without any sign or hesitation. Yomogi's back blocked out the snowstorm. His existence here was reassuring. I shook off the indecision in my heart and continued walking. Still, the limit of my strength was approaching. The exhaustion became unbearable, and I began to stagger up over my own 2 feet. I couldn't walk anymore. I attacked by despair just when I was about to collapse. There it is! In front of our eyes was the shelter cabin where we spent the last 5 days. We made it back to our final fortress. Or maybe the place that will become our grave. Nobody spoke a word. There was no hope there. There was only a gentle slipping despair. But still, it was the place where we were able to live just a little longer. That's right, only a little longer. Disappearing light. Why is there, like, the ghost of the furniture? Why are we being haunted by furniture? Whatever. Even after entering the cabin, we couldn't escape from the cold. We're all covered in snow and our coats were sopping wet. Carrying Uni inside, Yomogi laid him on the floor and began removing his clothes. Everyone, take off your clothes. Maizumi clicked her tongue at his words. Yet again, enough of your stupid Take off your clothes. Do you want to have to chop off your fingers? Do you want to die of hypothermia? I obediently began to remove my clothes. Shoes, gloves, the many layers of coats I was wearing. The inside of the coats were also damp with sweat. It may have been that what I was wearing had gotten soaked, but because I'd taken off, had the opposite effect, making me feel less cold. Hey! Maizumi was bashfully hesitating. Can't be asking us to take all our clothes off, right? Take off whatever's wet. I was embarrassed too, but I kept my mouth shut because it was necessary in our current situation. Good on you, Kokoro. I covered my body with a blanket and took my clothes off underneath it. I left my underwear on, of course. No! No! Look, this ain't me being pervy. I promise. Boy Scouts, survival training. You take off the underwear too. The underwear's gotta go. Everything needs dried out. Especially since the underwear is in sensitive places. You don't want sensitive places to be cold. You don't want anywhere to be cold. But especially sensitive places. It was kind of drafty. Yeah. I'd feel uneasy if I didn't have any clothes on at all. Fukukawa-san, there's some fuel left under the gas burner in the basement storeroom. Can you go get it? What? Oh, I thought there wasn't any fuel left. I stored it away just in case. And however, there's only enough left to warm 1 bucket of water at most. Hurry! I went down the basement barefoot. Just as Yomogi had said, there was a single container of cassette-type fuel left, placed in the very back of the shelves that was hidden. Finding it, I returned back up. Anyone see something wrong with this situation? Look to the left of the screen. On the left side. Yeah, Lou, I was totally in Boy Scouts. I was like first degree or whatever it was called. First class, something like that. Basically the highest rank I could get at my age group at the time, I think. Or at least for my group. It was weird. Anyway, notice something weird about the left side? Hell, even the right side? There's still fuel here! There's wood. There's cardboard. Guess what? Those burn. What the hell? Finding it, I returned back up. So the three... actually, I was applying for a job, and this question came up. What would you want on an island? You want, sanity, salvation, and, survival. Sanity, salvation, survival are your 3 S's for surviving a dangerous situation like this. Which is to say, sanity. You need something to maintain your sanity. So, like, if I was on a deserted island, I would want a pack of trading cards. Something to entertain me. Something that could entertain me and didn't require maintenance of some kind to keep going. Sanity, salvation. You want a source of something that can help you get salvation, get saved. So you want something that can communicate with the outside world or send a signal to the outside world or something along those lines. A flare, something that can make a big sign or a big fire or with a lot of smoke, something along those lines, depending on the situation you're in. Those beds have ladders. Yes, you could also use the ladders. Survival. That one's obvious. Food, water, etc., etc. 3 S's are what you need if you're ever in a survival situation like this. We heated the water with the gas burner. I still don't understand why the ghost of furniture past is still there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's not something they would do on accident, is it? Has history changed? Something's different here, and it's not supposed to be different. What the fuck? Hold on, I'm going through my mind. Alright, so time travel is a thing. We know this. The swapping between bodies is happening between timelines, and my suspicion is that Uni went swap personalities with himself in the past or something. He can also drag objects in the past. This is just a refresher. Does the ghost of furniture past here, Does that mean, like, we can see it, but they can't? Because nobody's reacting to it. But is that, like, a difference in the timeline? Like, should there be stuff there, but there isn't because of something Uni's changed? Huh. Mayuzumi desperately held her hands close to the burner. It couldn't compare to the stove in terms of heating power, but having any fire at all right now was very reassuring. Stop it! Don't warm your hands over the fire! Well, why not? You lose your sense of touch, right? You can't feel any heat, so you could burn yourself. I dried my body with a towel. Tips of my fingers and toes were pure white. My sense of touch had pretty much disappeared. I could only feel a little numbness in them. I even tried massaging them, but feeling wouldn't return. Even the water in the bucket became lukewarm. Yomogi lowered the flame strength. Dipping some towels in the hot water, Yomogi handed one to each of us. Wrap the towel around your face. Along with your limbs, your ears, and nose are highly susceptible to frostbite. Doing as he told us, I wrapped the towel around my head as it was concealing my ears and nose. To an outsider, it probably looks silly right now. Submerge your hands and feet in the bucket. Don't raise the flame. Warm your hands slowly in the water. After looking at each other walk over, Mayuzumi and I both placed our hands and feet in the bucket. Feeling of warmth steadily spread, as if they were being revived. As the bucket itself wasn't very large, Mayuzumi and I were sitting in a position where our shoulders met. Our four limbs were bumping into each other inside the narrow bucket. Hey, don't come so close! Even if you say that, don't you feel kind of itchy? Having been warmed up, our hands and feet were gradually becoming itchy. On top of that, blisters started to form here and there. Don't pull them out because they itch. Yomogi also placed a warm towel underneath one of Uni's armpits. He then piled up several blankets on top of him. Then he was able to groan was all at all meant that he was still conscious. Even now, Uni's small body was shivering. No ghost of furniture passed here. It was almost like he was convulsing. I could hardly stand to watch. Is Uni going to be alright? He has a mild case of hypothermia. I had that before, actually. It was actually during Boy Scouts. We were doing a special winter, like, Boy Scout jamboree. Yeah. I'm bad at snow camping. Got a minor case of hypothermia. Nothing threatening. It was mostly due to my stubbornness and not paying attention to the scout leader when I should have. Part of it was not changing wet clothes. Not eating properly was also part of the problem. I actually skipped meals when I shouldn't have. So, you hear me ranting about someone who's not taking off all their clothes when they're cold and in danger of hypothermia. I might have some personal experience with that. Just a little. It was a small jamboree, it wasn't a very big one. And the snow was pretty damn thick, so we didn't get to do too much. So it was kind of dumb. I didn't like it very much. Boy Scout camp, however, that was pretty fun. But also revealed that I was not ready for that kind of thing at the age I was. That's a long story, and I'm not getting into that one. Anyway, his body's still shivering, so he hasn't reached critical condition yet. But he looks like he's in critical condition because of the shivering. With hypothermia, the body stops shivering when it becomes serious. If that happens, you won't be able to do anything with only emergency measures. Compulsory military service for males, usually like a year. Yeah, I've heard about countries that do stuff like that, but I hear it's handled differently than military service in the US. And I've got like 3 medical conditions that prevent me from military service. So, not me, but I can totally respect folks that go into the military, and the countries that do require military service usually give you a ton of benefits for doing so. And honestly, some of them are the more peaceful countries in the world, so I don't know. Some of them, at least. During winter, it got like minus 30 C. Yeah, ours was even colder. Oh yeah, you mean like minus 34. Russia does that. I think Sweden does that. Wouldn't it be better to massage him or something like that? Absolutely not. If someone with hypothermia, massage would have the opposite effect. If you start massaging him, the blood that's grown cold in his extremities will begin to flow into his heart. If that happens, his core body temperature will lower, and in the worst case, he'll go into shock. I was truly thankful Yomogi was here. If he wasn't here, I might have ignorantly killed Uni with my own hands. Yomogi-san, thank you. Embarrassed, Yomogi only shrugged his shoulders. It was fate, and brought me here, I mean. Yeah, like I said, there are a couple of countries that do required military service for males, but it's also not as big a deal there. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think the US just recently opened up the draft to females, too. I think ladies are now in the draft. Or at least they're going to be soon, or something like that. I don't remember. I didn't read the whole article. I was just hearing people talk about it. But, I don't know. I think more people would talk about it if that were actually happening soon. So, I won't get into my thoughts on that. Fate? Yomogi's eyes looked very gentle as he stared at Uni. This may be the chance given to me to atone for my sin of not being able to protect my son at that time. By saving this child, I feel like I'll be saved myself. After 30 minutes, the feeling in our hands and feet had completely returned. Yomogi and I took turns warming Uni's hands and feet in the warm water. Uni's complexion came much better as well. As Yomogi had instructed, I was hugging Uni's body, rolled up inside a blanket. I had thought it was just something they said on TV, but apparently lying with our bodies together was effective in itself. This is also true, something we also got taught in Boy Scouts. If someone's suffering from hypothermia, get naked, get them naked, get out of any wet clothes whatsoever, and huddle together. The cold in Uni's body was transmitted to me through the skin. I desperately prayed as I kept holding Uni. Live. You have to live. You can't die. I'll give you as much of my body heat as you want. So live, Uni. January 16th, the 6th day. One day until the avalanche. A little bit of happiness. The night was long. Far too long. Light broke through the night. The blizzard outside raged on and on. The demonic screams of the wind rocked the cabin and shook the windows. At this point, the only thing that could penetrate the storm was a miracle. Hugging her knees, Mayuzumi kept shivering as she sat there with a vacant look in her eyes. Several layers of blankets which she was using to cover herself didn't seem to be helping at all. Weak groans escaped from her lips along with the sound of chattering teeth. Yomogi was sitting in his bed, flicking his lighter open and shut continuously. His eyes, now devoid of their flame, stared blankly at the stove. Annoyed by the sound of Yomogi playing with the lighter, Mayuzumi had been pestering Yomogi in a shaky voice to stop since some time ago. But Yomogi hadn't stopped. Probably doing it so he doesn't fall asleep. As long as you can hear the sound, I'll keep you all awake. But if the sound stops, then you'll have to wake me up. Metallic sound was like the last form of resistance from a human whose flame of life was about to be snuffed out by the fury of nature. It was by no means pleasant to the ears, but it was the sound of civilization. Hold on. What happened to the ghost of Furniture Past? Was that like a visual glitch or something? Am I crazy? Well, crazy for that specific reason and not the other reasons? What? It's absolute proof we were still alive. It was our heartbeat. Uni was sleeping in my arms. He had been in a dangerous state of hypothermia, but his body temperature was slowly rising. The heat was returning to his hands and feet as well. According to Yomogi, he was lucky to have survived without losing any fingers. When I heard that, I breathed a huge sigh of relief. May have been a glitch. God damn it. I thought it was important. Curled up in a ball, Uni's short breaths that can be heard as he slept on. I heard The Exorcist. Even though it's dangerous to sleep while suffering with hypothermia, it'd be even more dangerous to waste his strength at the moment. It should be okay to let him sleep as long as I wake him up every 30 minutes. Wrapped up in my blanket, I stared at my beloved watch, which had been completely scratched up by now. In this long night, which almost felt as if it would last an eternity, I thought about many, many things. For example, I opened and flipped through the 20 years of my life like an album. Elementary school, when I wrote a love letter. High school, when I found out a senpai I really admired, had a girlfriend and cried all night. Going drinking with friends in the same class, then going overboard with the alcohol, resulting in a terrible hangover the day after. All of them were just simple everyday things. Yeah, no swaps. I was gonna mention that. That kind of surprises me. No swaps throughout the entire night. That's strange. And when I think back on them now, all the days spark brightly like precious jewels. Perhaps dying will make all the memories I'd accumulated inside of me disappear. Perhaps everything will return to zero. All that will remain is the inorganic record that I was once here, and the pieces of memories I have left in the hearts of those who knew me. That'll be all. I wonder how relevant that is. Same thing here. It's occurring to me. I was going to say, well, when they're asleep, you don't know how many times they swap if they both sleep at the same time. But that's not true, because she specifically could not sleep. Was not supposed to sleep. I don't want to lose those simple, yet irreplaceable, priceless memories. I don't want to die. I really, really don't want to die. Besides that, the long, long night made me ponder many things. One thing that dominated my thoughts was the situation with Satoru. About what Uni had said in Sphia. You killed him. Satoru killed that man. Uni witnessed it. That was why he was so frightened when he saw me in Satoru's body. I believed in Satoru. Things have happened which made me lose faith in him. I once thought of Satoru as my partner. Partner with whom I shared the experience of the strange personality exchange phenomenon. From snowy world where no one else could be trusted, he was the only person I believed in. Yet, he had killed someone. Because I was tossed right back in the blizzard. I haven't had time to think about it. Now that I have, it's really frightening. Satoru, he killed that man. No, it wasn't Satoru. The murderer simply could not be Satoru. Because the person who held the blade was Satori, not Satoru. He must be mistaken somehow. After struggling with it, it's the final conclusion I came to. What's in the box? What's in the box? What the fuck? I don't like it. But what about the rations? He wouldn't eat all the rations by himself. He ate Uni and Yomogi's rations too. I haven't told him the heart attack was for the three of us, so I was partly at fault. But I never thought Satoru would secretly eat all the rations without telling me anything. No way. As far as I could tell from notes he left, Satoru was a very reasonable person. Yes, those notes which only portray exactly what he wants you to know at exactly the right moments. Yep, no way you could hide anything from with those. Even locked up in the shelter cabin, I don't believe he's the type of guy who would eat all the rations on a whim. Maybe he had a special reason. Thinking about that he might have left some messages that would serve as a clue, I tried playing the VR. Fortunately, there wasn't anything unusual recorded on it. Flipping through my head quickly, I thought back over everything that happened during these 5 days. Exactly, he's a reasonable person, not a kind person. Also true. Flipping through my head quickly, I thought back over everything that happened in 5 days. Now I think about it, when Satoru was eating the rations, back then he'd gone outside. That's right, I'm sure I was outside the cabin when I transferred back. I don't know exactly why Satoru went outside. Perhaps he'd gone out and there was to do something so that we could all make it back alive. Maybe he had to eat the rations because of that. What a convenient explanation. If Mayuzumi heard that, she would probably double over laughing. But I want to believe him. That's why I decided to think of the problem with the rations as something that couldn't be helped. I believe in Satoru. Even if everyone in the world loses faith in him, I believe in Satoru. Because Satoru is my partner. Despite being in contact with him, never being in contact with him, we're very close. It's as if he's my other half. Our relationship is the only thing keeping me sane. Ever since arriving at Sphia in the shelter cabin, I've become much more unstable. With nature's wrath at shelter cabin and the murderous monster Sphia, no normal person would be able to act like everything was okay. But thinking back, I realized because Satoru was here. Because he was so calm that I was able to keep my sanity. Photoshop filter thinking! Exactly, I was thinking the same thing. Satoru. I wonder if Satoru's okay. I wonder if Satoru's still alive. I want to see him and talk to him. I want to hear his voice. I want to touch his hand. Satoru. My partner. My irreplaceable partner. Uni woke up in my arms. Slowly opened his eyes. Hey, it's not time yet. You can sleep a bit longer. Uni shook his head. It's okay. I've slept enough. If I sleep too much, it'll make me dumb, right? Do you feel okay? Same party body feels strange. I'm okay. I'm full of energy now. Even though he still looked cold, he had a bright smile on his face. Can I stop worrying now? Kokron, you can sleep now. I'll wake you up. Don't worry, I'm still okay. If you can't sleep, how about I sing you a lullaby? I like Lotus. I thought she was cool. Is he singing that at full volume? What kind of song is that? I smiled slightly. At the same time, I was surprised by the fact I was even able to smile. It's the first time I realized people can still smile in a situation dire as this. Nobody likes people with the same bad traits? Ah, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Ah, that's right, I forgot. Throwing off his blanket, Uni jumped to his feet. Hey, Seiji! Yes. Mogi slowly raised his head. Uni, shouldn't you be sleeping a little more? Don't worry about me. I'm fine. More importantly, try the phone again. The phone? Oh, I forgot. You should try the phone. I'm psychic now. Or from the future or something, I don't know. Just try the phone. Trust me. Phone? Phone, you mean the satellite phone? That's right. 3 days ago, Yomogi recovered a satellite phone seen a plane crash. If we were able to get through to someone with a satellite phone, we could let them know our location, and a rescue could be requested. But according to a newspaper article, no, even if we just ignore the newspaper article, the satellite the phone needs to work can't operate through the current effect of solar winds. If the phone connects to satellite by sheer luck, chances are getting a proper connection is 1 in 1 million. Even when we dial every second for 24 hours straight, we get a proper connection only once every 11.5 days. That's the wrong way to look at the problem! It's not you would only get once every 11.5 days, it's that within that 11.5 days, you'll get one connection. It could happen anywhere on the timeline. So if you do it now, you're just as likely to get a connection in that 11.5 days. You could call that a miracle. The kind of miracle has sadly not happened yet. That's what Yomogi's failures have taught us during these 3 days, which he tried and failed over and over again to make a call from the satellite phone. Uni, it's really a shame that the phone is useless. It won't connect. Sorry, I think I had the wrong voice. Why? If you don't try, you'll never know, right? Even if you didn't connect yesterday, even didn't connect the day before that, even if it didn't connect just a moment ago. Now at this very moment, maybe it might just connect. But just dial it! Wrapped up in her blanket, Mayuzumi interrupted. Just like Uni said, you won't know till you try. We should try dialing. Yomogi hesitated and rubbed his chin. I thought about it. Things may certainly be as Uni said. That's what I started to think. At this exact moment, the phone may connect. There's still a chance for a miracle. What are you waiting for? If we try right now could be our chance, and you want to give up? Article 27, paragraph 1 of the Japanese Constitution. All people have the right and the obligation to work. Just get moving, you lame brain. But Yomogi didn't move at all. Perhaps his hopes had already crumbled away because of the exhaustion in the past couple days. Yomogi-san, the phone. Where's the phone? Fuyakawa-san, are you gonna try it? That's right. Please tell me where you keep the phone. It's in my bag. I quickly ran over to Yomogi's bag and looked inside. I found the phone right away. What number should I try? 110? No. 119 isn't quite right either. If you want a number to dial, try the Mountain Rescue Team. Number is... Dial the number Yomogi gave me. Of course, I don't think it'll connect. Phone speaker was silent. It's just a waste of effort. It's like he said it was useless to try. The moment the thought entered my head. Ring, ring, ring. Banana phone. Eh? This... Yes, this is the Mountain Hokuto Distress Response Council's Mountain Rescue Team. What the fuck? Why do we have a name this long and complicated? I mean, come on, folks. It is just a mouthful. Oh, you might be having trouble being alive. Let me start over. Yes, this is the Mount Hokuto Distress Response Council's Mountain Rescue Team. Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? Dave, we got another one of those prank calls. Can you get the police on the phone? I think this time I'm gonna get their address and we're really gonna get them. It went through. It went through! It went through! What do I do? What do I do? I was so shocked that the impossible response went right out my head. I stared blankly, not knowing what to say. Give it to me! Yomogi grabbed the phone. Hello, hello! Yomogi yelled in the phone. We're passengers from HAL 18. The plane that went down. It's been reported news, right? Whereabouts unknown. So that's what happened, huh? Well, whatever. Yes, that's right. The crash site of HAL 18 is on Mount Akakura in South Hakuda. We're the ones who made it out of the plane crash alive. There are a total of 4 survivors. Right now, we've sought shelter in the Mount Akakura emergency shelter cabin. You know where it is, right? My GPS shows 40 degrees, 35 minutes, and 35 seconds latitude. 140 degrees, 55 minutes, and 20 seconds longitude. Altitude, 1298 meters. Let me guess, Sir Matt. Those are all, some of those are digital roots of 9. We've been able to hold out until now, but we're out of our limit. All supplies have been depleted. We hope you'll send someone to help us right away. Hello? Hello? Here, are you listening? Hello? Damn, we got cut off. Mogi-san redialed right away. But, no good. They won't connect. No matter how many times he tried again after that, none of the calls made it through. Will they send help? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Did you tell them everything? I tried to tell them everything they needed to know. It's just, we got cut off in the middle. Aww. 1298 is 2. I thought the digital route was 9. Didn't you tell me before, Sir Matt, that altitude was a digital route 9? I didn't get a chance to hear the reply. The static was really bad. I could barely make out what they were saying. In fact, I'm not even sure that what I said made it through to them clearly and all. Exactly who got my message. You mean our location, the fact we're all trapped here? None of it went through. Yeah, I'm not sure it did either. Wait, then think of something! Do something! One more time, call them again! It's impossible, Mayazumi. The fact we connected a moment ago was nothing short of a miracle. The miracle isn't going to happen twice. Hand it over! I'll do it! Lynn grabbed the phone and pressed the redial button once again, which wouldn't take that many button presses, but we're gonna let it pass. It'll go through. It'll go through, I just know it will. If it doesn't, then it'll be a really big problem. Please go through. Come on, what's wrong? What happened? Go through. Please. Please. Please, because... With the phone still in her hand, Mayazumi eventually collapsed to her knees with tears in her eyes. Mayazumi-san? I laid a supporting hand on her shoulder. Her shoulders were quivering. Pray. All that's left to do is pray. Believe that our message got through properly. You're coming to help us for sure. Believe in that. Even though Yomogi's words were hopeful and inspiring, they did nothing to comfort Mayazumi. Putting down the phone, she stumbled slowly toward the bed. Wrapping herself in her blanket, she went completely silent. No, she was muttering something repeatedly under her breath. If things keep going like this, she may just lose her mind. Getting more and more worried about her, I moved closer beside her. Revealed feelings. Are we finally going to get in touch with Mayazumi's inner self? Are we going to finally have a chance at survival? I remember I mentioned last time a different mountain. Oh, my bad. Are we going to live? I guess we'll have to find out next time I stream. Because you see, my name is Lamar Haven, and I stream Monday through Friday, starting at 10 a.m. PST. That is 1 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, Thursdays, I stream what you've seen here. Remember 11, The Age of Infinity. God, I love this. I'm enjoying myself. Can't wait to get to the next time we play this. Anyway, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I stream Dragon Quest VI Blind, as chosen by you, the viewers. I was a little stuck during a fashion contest of all things last time. Yeah. Gonna think of a way to fix that. However, remember, 11 gets cross-post to YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you're gonna follow the link on screen, a link below the stream, and my YouTube channel. On YouTube, I have a YouTube-specific series. That is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Resident Evil 5. Join Chris and Sheva as we search Africa for the source of the BOWs. Racism, bad ID, and murder! lots and lots of murder. Fun! Alright, well that's it for me for today. So thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you folks next time.